Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our journey, our continued journey to 250,000 subscribers. There's no need to unsubscribe. In fact, you should be subscribing and sharing this because we're building a community that we're going to need starting January 20th of 2025. And I say that because right in the days after the election, the days that after the election was decided, Trump was actually fairly quiet on social media. Many of us turned around and said, wow, can't believe it. Maybe he's turning over a different leaf. But no. In the last couple of days, he's gone back to his usual ways. In fact, he's reposted a fake picture of him surfing. We kicked some ass this weekend. A meme about him winning the presidency. In our lifetime, politicians will come and go, but there will never be another president like Donald J. Trump. And then he goes ahead and he posts the cover of the New York Post. Life of the party, how Trump won more young people, more Black and Hispanic men, and forged a new Republican coalition. Now, let's look at it. First of all, I think the first thing we have to ask ourselves, why? Why? First of all, why show yourself surfing? Why turn around and show yourself, winning the president? We all know, the whole country was tuned in. I'm not really sure I understand the purpose other than, of course, gloating. So now I want us to look at a series of his posts, which, again, I can't understand the reason. I can't understand it, which still have his usual rantings. So first he goes on and he thanks everyone for winning. But before I read it, please note that he goes on to say that he won the popular vote by 7 million. Now, as of this recording, according to the Associated Press, right now, my understanding is that he's ahead by 3.5 million. Before I start to read it, I really just want to draw your attention to this. Who gives a shit if you win by 1 vote, by 3.5 million, by 7 million, or 17 million? You still won. That's the whole issue. Here, put it up. Thank you, God. Won all swing states and the popular vote by almost 7 million voters. Got 312 electoral votes, and in the great state of Texas, won 31 of 32 statewide judicial benches, and every county in the Rio Grande Valley. They were all blue 8 years ago, and got 1 million more Texas votes than in 2020. Now, again, I'm just trying to understand. Think about it this way. Think about if, like, when the New York Yankees lost to the Dodgers. Could you just imagine if they start posting all of the various different New York Post articles or claiming that, their pitchers pitched 213 pitches, of which 100 of them were balls and 113 were strikes, and ours, we had 200 pitches and 150 was strikes versus ball. I mean, at the end of the day, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. What's the point that you're trying to make? It just doesn't make any sense. So after going ahead and thanking everybody and so on, he decides that he's going to go after many of his political enemies. And here are his comments, for example, on Nikki Haley. I will not be inviting former Ambassador Nikki Haley or former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to join the Trump administration, which is currently in formation. I very much enjoyed and appreciated working with them previously and would like to thank them for their service to our country. Make America great again. Why specifically call out Nikki Haley and Mike Pompeo? Because he wasn't certain that they would sign the loyalty pledge that he wants? Is that the issue, that he's only going to fill the cabinet positions, as he's recently said, with loyalists and folks that will do anything and everything that he says? Very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. Then Liz Cheney, he decides to post about. The Democrats made a big, capital B-I-G, mistake in getting crazy Liz Cheney and her father, Dick, involved in their campaign for president. It made the Republicans angry, and the Democrats just plain scratching their heads in amazement. It is always a bad idea to bring, in quotes, losers into a political campaign. Again, this is not presidential. This is not how you unite the country after God knows how long of this divisive, chaotic rhetoric. For what reason? For what reason? He's bigger than that. He should be bigger than that. He's better than that. He should be better than that. Instead, this I got to beat the shit out of you again and again and again. You won. You won. Take it and be gracious about the win and be the president for all Americans, not just the people who you like, not just for the people who voted for you. That's not our system. Then, of course, bring in Gavin Newsom. Show that one. Governor Gavin Newsom is trying to kill our nation's beautiful California. For the first time ever, more people are leaving than are coming in. He is using the term Trump-proof as a way of stopping all of the great things that can be done to make California great again. But I just overwhelmingly won the election. People are being forced to leave due to his and others' insane policy decisions, like the ridiculously rerouting of millions of gallons of water a day from the north out into the Pacific Ocean, rather than using it free of charge for the towns, cities, and farms dotted all throughout California. They are making it impossible to build a reasonably priced car. The unchecked and unbalanced homeless catastrophe and the cost of everything, in particular groceries, is out of control. Also, as an agent for the United States of America on voting and elections, I will be demanding that voter ID and proof of citizenship are a necessary part and component of the voting process. Again, we're just sitting here and we're trying to figure out, hey, why? Why? Because what he's looking to do here is to actually change. Maybe in 4 years, maybe in 2 years during the midterms, he's going to try to change and turn California red. No problem. But really, at this juncture in time, if in fact what you say is accurate, people will end up looking for an alternative without, at this point in time, attacking Gavin Newsom, which you're only doing right now because he was so vocal anti-Trump over the course of the last 8-9 months when Biden was running, and then, of course, the last 3 as Kamala was running. Now, next, Trump decides to speak about Democratic funding. Not even sure where he's going with this one, but he says, I'm very surprised that the Democrats, who fought a hard and valiant fight in the 2020 presidential election, raising a record amount of money, didn't have lots of money left over. Now they are being squeezed by vendors and others. Whatever we can do to help them during this difficult period, I would strongly recommend we, as a party, and for the sake of desperately needed unity, do. We have a lot of money left over in that our biggest asset in the campaign was earned media, and that doesn't cost very much. Make America great again. Okay, if you really do intend on helping the Democratic Party to pay off its bills, first of all, I'm not really sure what they're talking about. I do know from reports that there were certain vendors that were claiming the Trump campaign didn't pay. But if in fact the Democratic, that number one, that would be relatively new to me. Have not heard that. But if the Republican Party is planning on chipping in order to fund the Democratic Party, it just seems somewhat odd, right? I mean, it just doesn't seem very Trumpy. And now here are his thoughts about recess appointments as they will be taking place. Put that up. Any Republican senator seeking the the coveted leadership position in the United States Senate must agree to recess appointments in the Senate, without which we will not be able to get people confirmed in a timely manner. Sometimes the votes can take 2 years or more. This is what they did 4 years ago, and we cannot let it happen again. We need positions filled immediately. Additionally, no judges should be approved during this period of time because the Democrats are looking to ram through their judges as the Republicans fight over leadership. This is not acceptable. Thank you. I want to be very clear about something. It's something that Trump did. Trump did this. So again, there's the way that works for him. There's a way that works for Democrats. And the rest of us are sort of just sitting here and shaking our heads and saying, well, which way is it going to be? A big concern that Trump is talking about here is the potential stepping down by Sotomayor, right? Justice Sotomayor of the Supreme Court, where Biden would put or nominate somebody to put through. Trump doesn't want that. If Sotomayor steps down, for whatever the reason might be, of course, that would be one man having the ability to nominate 4 Supreme Court justices. Again, never, ever, ever having occurred in this country. And of course, lastly, in the middle of his political discourse, Trump decides to put in some comments about the NFL. All right, the NFL should get rid of the ridiculous new kickoff rule. All right, listen. What I think maybe he should do is he should do an executive order on that too. Not really sure where that came from, but I do want to say this. Donald Trump happens to be a fan of football. He's actually a fan of all sports, specifically golf, but he's a major fan of basketball, but more so even football. He's actually quite knowledgeable. I'm just not sure at this juncture in time why that's even something that's on his mind, but it's on his mind, and so he posted. I'd rather him be posting stuff like that than the attacks on Gavin Newsom and Nikki Haley and Mike Pompeo and some of these other stuff. You know, the recess appointments, listen, I could understand his anger towards what could possibly cause his administration to not come in as quickly as possible. First of all, I'm not even sure if they have all the positions already filled with different people. I know that there's a big scramble going on, very similar to what happened in 2016. So my friends, like I said to you before, no point in unsubscribing. In fact, this is the time that you need to subscribe because this is the place that you're going to get the truth. This is the place you're going to get reactions to what's going on by somebody who's been there before. And I hope to see you again soon. And thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.